Hi, and welcome to another episode of Conversation with a Chef. I'm Jo Ritty, and I love sharing with you the conversations I get to have with talented and passionate chefs. It's the backstory, if you will, to the food they're putting up. I begin today by acknowledging the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, traditional custodians of the lands and airwaves where this conversation takes place, land which was never ceded, land where communities came together to eat seasonally, locally, and without exhausting resources. I pay my respects to their elders past, present and rising. This week I've been talking to Adrian Richardson at Luna Bistro in Carlton. When I went in, it was a rainy Saturday afternoon when a wedding lunch was winding up in the downstairs dining room and the staff were prepping for evening service. Longstanding restaurant manager Linda thrust a glass of wine into my hand and Adrian and I went for a tour of the cool room where they dry age all the meat. I don't think I've seen so much meat in one place ever. But of course that is what La Luna is known for, and for good reason. And when you have a dedicated butcher on staff for 16 years, Angelo Marchetti, you know a restaurant is serious about its meat. We then climbed the narrow stairs to the second floor where the salami, lardo and prosciutto hangs, and went in to sit in the office as the printer churned out the menus for the night. Photos hang on the wall of Adrian at various stages of his career, and of his grandfather, also a chef, who graduated in 1936 from Westminster College in London and was the founding chef of Balzac, the iconic restaurant in Melbourne owned by Mirka and Georges Mora. There was so much to talk to Adrian about. Now, Luna's about to celebrate its 25-year anniversary, no mean feat with all that's happened in recent years, and even right at opening when the 1998 Victorian gas crisis happened and La Luna had only been open a few weeks. Adrian had to cook using a barbecue to keep the restaurant going. Then there was that C-word time we don't like to mention when the restaurant was closed virtually for 2 years. But even that marked a turning point for Adrian when he realised he didn't need to and didn't want to work all the hours he was working. Having said that, he had just arrived back from Brisbane on the afternoon that I was talking to him, where he co-owns a restaurant and he has all sorts of projects and collaborations and events that he does. Then there's his TV career. Ready Steady Cook in the 90s, Boys Weekend, Good Chef, Bad Chef, and he's appeared on Iron Chef USA. It's clear that Adrian lives and breathes food and hospitality, and it was such a pleasure to talk to him. I would have liked to have included the audio of my tour of the meat and small goods, but there was a lot going on, a lot of background noise, so you just have to imagine my awe and wonder and me saying, oh wow, it's amazing, a lot of times. And then also imagine us traipsing up the stairs and speaking to all sorts of people on the way, because the staff love Adrian and people work there on and off over the years. He's had lots of staff members who've worked there for years and years, and people come back. And as I said, we were in the office with the printer, and so when you're listening to this, you will feel very much part of that. But that's only really for the first few minutes. And then we settle in for a great chat. So it's quite a long chat. Probably want to maybe make yourself a coffee or pour yourself a glass of wine and join me in this. And because I heard you on Triple R speaking to Cam, and that was such a great chat. You obviously go way back with him, do you?
And I've done enough radio to know that to hit him hard. Like he likes to. He's a pretty sort of energetic guy, so I come straight into him and we do it together. Yeah. It's great. Yes, it's good.
It was really good, and good to know that you're a supporter of community radio. It's always good.
Yeah, always have. Yeah, it's great.
But so you're just saying that so Linda's been with you for 22 years?
Yeah, 23.
23. Yep. And La Luna's been going for 25 years.
Yeah. So,
I just find that so impressive in this climate where, restaurants open and close and, congratulations. And happy birthday.
Thank you very much. I'm 25 again. It's been great. I've really enjoyed it. This place has been... I've been able to do what I want. I've been able to do the style of food and work with the people that I enjoy working with, and that's where I wanted to go, and it seems to have worked really well. But I think when I first started, there was a lot of the Britpack, fancy, fluffy type of food, and I just didn't really get that at all. For me, it's about meat and stuff that's put together. Are you recording it?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. Without your background. Oh,
yeah,
fantastic.
I know. Oh, well,
So we're in the office. There's printing for the menu going on. It's Saturday night.
Action packed. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, good.
Yeah.
So I've really enjoyed it. Enjoyed being able to do this, and it's allowed me to do so many other things. Get into the media, and I've really enjoyed that part of it as well. And it's been a lot of fun.
So, I was going to say, so little Adrian, or young Adrian, when he opened this restaurant, did you imagine that you would still be here 25 years on?
There he is there, and that's him when he opened up. Look, I'm at the age of, at the age of 18 when I started my apprenticeship, I always knew that I wanted to go into business for myself, so I did everything I possibly could to learn as much as I could, so when I started I had some skills behind me. Did I think I'd be here in 25 years? I don't know. I just really wanted to give it a go and make it work. I'm shocking. If I start something, I've got to do it. I've got to finish it. I've got to be good at it. I'm horrible with that stuff. I will not let go until I make it work. So.
And what do you reckon it is that does? I mean, it's kind of a stupid question. It's a really great restaurant, but what does make it work and what does make it last?
You know what it is? It's the people.
Yeah.
The people that I work with here, and there's some long-term people. Linda, Lauren, Angelo. Some of the staff that keep on coming back. We spoke to a guy outside. He's been working off and on for 4 years. We just call him back. He's lovely. And he loves coming. Every time we call him, he comes back. So, I find it's the people that are around me that make it really enjoyable and exciting. If I come in and I'm not feeling that great, I've got the two girls here that will slap me around the head and shut up, here's a coffee, get on with it, So we all sort of work together, and I find that's the exciting part. That keeps me interested. That's the challenging part, and I love that. Yeah.
And I guess it's the locals or the following that you have as well. I heard you say to Cam that that people come back several times a week sometimes. Like, people love it, and I think it's pretty amazing.
I think when you open a restaurant, there's a couple of ways of thinking about it. As a chef, the tendency would be, I'm a great chef. I'm going to show you how amazing I am and all the beautiful food, and I'm going to teach you, the customer, how to eat and dine. That's one way of doing it, where I sort of come from a different way. I sort of think, what do you want? What do I think people would want to eat? And I sort of design a place around me being the customer. What do I want? The style of food, the style of service, the price point, all of these things coming together is the way I would think about it. And then, being a chef of 35 years and generations beforehand, I'm a very skills-based chef, so I like to make everything, and everything's made on the premises. That's what we do, and I think it sort of comes together. If I come to a restaurant and I'm buying some prosciutto, it's nice if I get it from overseas in Italy, but I can get that in any other restaurant around here. Yeah. The prosciutto that you saw hanging outside my office here, there's only one place in the world you can get that. That is made here. It's cured and air dried here, sliced and put on a plate. The only place in the world you can get that. Unless I take a leg with me and slice it somewhere else, that's it. To me, that's quite important. I'm not buying food in and fluffing it up. I'm giving you what we make, warts and all. And
so I was thinking it's interesting, obviously you've got a book called Meat, and there's a lot of meat here, and in this day and age, a lot of people are on about eating less meat and more vegetables, but it still works, doesn't it? What you're doing, because you're doing good quality. On
that point, we should eat less meat.
Yeah,
definitely. Meat's a very easy thing to get, and once we start eating meat and demanding cheaper meat, we start going into the factory farming. And that's another thing altogether. For me, I buy really good stuff. I pay top dollar for it. We do the right thing to it, and we charge you top dollar for it. For me, that's where we want to go. We should eat less meat, pay more for better quality meat, and eat more vegetables. I mean, it's healthy, To me, that's really important. But I think we sort of go down a line where it's just easy to put a piece of chicken on or whatever and cook it, whereas vegetables take a little bit more thought. So yeah, I think if the more people learn to cook and enjoy vegetables, the better they're going to be. And then come here for a great steak. I'll look after the steak. I'll look after all the beautiful things.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, that's the way I think it should be. I don't eat a lot of meat. I don't. I taste a lot of meat.
Yeah.
And, but really, if I eat a little bit of Wagyu or too much, I can't eat it. I love a piece of fish. I love a salad, or a soup or something. That's me.
Yeah, wow.
Or pasta. Pasta's my love.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you make pasta?
All the pasta's made here on the premises.
Is it?
I have an Italian background. My mother's Italian, and
Okay.
I grew up in an Italian family. So even though I don't look it, pasta is one of my favourite things. There's always 2 or 3 different pasta dishes, handmade, on the premises at any time. If you come back to my house, I'll make, we go, 10 o'clock at night, we get home from work, have a glass of wine, you sit down on the counter over there, and I'll make assassin's pasta or something, it's one of the dishes, I'll make.
Tell me about that. What is assassin's pasta?
It's a dish I've actually came across it a while ago, but I have to practice things a lot, so I've been making it a lot. Basically, it's if you can imagine dried spaghetti. You've got a handful of that, and then in a non-stick fry pan or a cast iron fry pan, you'll have some olive oil, crushed garlic, and some chilli, and you might add some capers, anchovy, any of those sorts of things. Fry them off till they're golden. Put the spaghetti in, rock hard, straight from the packet, straight in. And in a jug, you'll have some water with some tomato paste or some tomato passata, about 10% of that. So you've got the blood red colour of the liquid, and you add that to the spaghetti and just keep moving it around with tongs so it doesn't stick together and it softens up. And then it starts to fry and you add more liquid to it and it goes crispy and, you sort of keep going. It's a lovely dish to cook. It's very interactive.
Yeah.
And you're sort of playing around with it. And, how crispy do you like it? I love it. It's a lovely dish. It's very simple.
Okay.
It's like an old school, one pan fun sort of dish, and I love that sort of thing. So it's assassin's pasta.
Nice. And assassins because
the liquid that you add is coloured red with the tomato passata or the paste. So it's the blood of the person you've just killed. That's where it comes from. So, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Not, assassins aren't making, or maybe they are making it with the blood,
they just knock someone. It's like we just shot 2 people and said, let's get some pasta. Yeah, you can imagine
nice.
that. Yeah.
And but then I read the 2 that you thought you might become a pilot.
Yes. When I was 16, I was put up a year at school. So my brother and I were 11 months apart, and so my mother forged my birth certificate and put me up a year, which was a great idea at the time. However, I always struggled at school. I was always that year younger, and it makes a difference, I think. And so I always struggled, and then went to a really good grammar school, and then at the age of probably 16 and a half, halfway through year 11, my services were no longer required. So I'm at home. No school, and Dad was an airline pilot, so yeah, had a bit of time off. So I'd always loved flying. He said, do you want to start some flying lessons? So yeah, so I started flying lessons, and at 16 I was doing my solos. I was flying by myself in a plane, doing circuits and things. So. And Dad said, look, you got to, get a job, pay for your lessons. So I did. I got a job in a kitchen, paid for my lessons, and, really fell in love with the kitchen. Got a job in a restaurant, and that guy, I'm still friends with that guy. He's, older Italian guy, beautiful man. And, so I started to fall in love with the kitchen, and less with the flying. So I went back to school, did my year 11 again, repeated in the right year that I should have been, did year 12, and then to the horror of everyone, friends, family, teachers, everyone, I started my apprenticeship as a chef. And in those days, it wasn't like it is now, where you're on TV and everything's fabulous. It was grinding it out in a sweaty hot kitchen with crazy chefs screaming, yelling, and doing stuff. But I belong there. There's no other place for me.
I was going to say, what is it that you loved and still love about it?
I love the creative side of it. You can be quite creative. I love food and always have been. So just everything is about food for me. I love the discipline and the organisation. Kitchens can be very disciplined, organised societies. There's a hierarchy. If you're good and if you do have a good day and you achieve a lot of things, you get a pat on the back. If you stuff up, you get a clip around the ears. It's very, very regimented and organised, and I like that. I like that self-discipline for myself, but I love that thing, and I love the camaraderie. I love the service. Doesn't matter how good you are, or whatever it is. At 6 o'clock when punters walk in that door, if you're not ready and you can't deliver, you're gone. Go do something else. But that adrenaline, that intenseness of the service, where you have to be focused and you have to be right. Everything has to come out right. To me, I love that adrenaline. That sort of it's like a sport, blood sport to me. Yeah.
I just binged 2 seasons of The Bear.
Everyone's telling me about it. I've got to watch it. Yeah.
Oh, well, season 2 is just sublime. It's so cinematic and amazing, but there is just this city. There's a lot of really anxiety-inducing moments while watching it because of the, he's under pressure and all these things. There's a moment when all the dockets are just flying out of the machine.
I've seen them where they come out of the docket machine and they spool around and they hit the floor, and it's like you have those nights when big kids like, we're in the shed. It's just but to me it's like, okay, we're gonna get out of this. It's not like anyone's gonna die. You can panic and you can go crazy, or I'm quite organised and I can bring it, in and focus. It's like, we're going to be fine, guys. Let's just do this. You break it into blocks. You do this, and you work through it slowly. And you tell the front of house guy, pull out the magazine trolley. It's going to take a while. Pour some drinks for them. It's all going to come out, and you work with them. I love that type of thing. But it is anxiety,
Yeah.
People watching it.
I just so always, obviously I love talking to chefs, so I've got a podcast called that, but I just don't even, I'm always so in awe of how you juggle all those things. Like, I like cooking, but then when you're doing it in this large scale, all different timings, I just find that so incredible. Timing is really important. You need to know how to work that stuff, but if you've been doing it for long enough, and if you've had a good sort of background from anything from doing functions of 2,000 people to 5 people. Yeah. If you can do everything in between, and then all big kitchens, small kitchens. With chefs, I always say you got to work in lots of different places. Yeah. All of these different places, so that when you get to a stage where you're starting to take control, it's easy to put it together. Yeah. I find a lot of chefs just work in restaurants. Food's great, and that's all they learn. But we're doing a function for 200 people. It's like, how do we do this? Sure.
Yeah. But that's the fun part.
Yeah.
But we can teach you that. It's not hard.
Yeah.
It's not. If I can do it, anyone can do it.
No, maybe. And then where does TV fit into it? Like, how did that even come about?
I started getting a lot of attention when I first opened this place. Just to do interviews and those sorts of things, and then I was asked to do little commercials and things. So it sort of picked up from there. And then there was a young lady, Justine May, who's an agent just for chefs. So she runs Talent Inc. or Chefs Inc. in those days. So she is the agent for a lot. Everyone you see on TV, she's their agent. So she's fantastic. So I started doing little gigs here and there. Then Ready Steady Cook, and then we did Boys Weekend and Good Chef Bad Chef, and then I teamed up with 2 other guys and we produced Secret Meat Business ourselves, and then Richo's Bar Snacks, which was a lot of fun doing that stuff. Producing was incredible how we put all that together. But I just love it. I love the performance side of it, and I love the teaching side of it, and I really enjoy making it. When we do it, they're small teams. There's like 2 cameramen, 3 cameramen, sound guy, director, producer, and maybe 1 other food guy. Very tight team, and you're doing 6, 8, 12-week blocks, and it's you really connect with them all, and it's great. And to me, making TV is a very, very intimate thing with these people. What goes stays in the studio, and then you come out of the studio and we love watching you on. I don't get that. I don't see that side of it.
Well, I was going to ask you, because you're very personable on the screen, and I feel like it's almost like you're making eye contact with the viewer. Did you have to learn? Are you imagining people watching you, or are you just doing it to the camera? What does go through your head?
Early on, I learned the hard way with a lot of this stuff. I was nervous talking to people, nervous in front of a camera, but I would pick up any 2-bit, job for nothing. If you gave me a packet of cigarettes, I'd do anything just to do it and learn it. I like to learn things. I have to break it apart and have to master things, and then I can move on. So unless I master it, it's very difficult for me to stop. I have to keep doing it again and again. with the TV, I would listen to directors, and they would give me tips, and we would do stuff that they would, try this, try that. But you just have to do it. Some people have it, some people don't. I'm very lucky. I can stand up in front of people and perform. It's not easy. You've got to learn it, and you've got to practice it, and you've got to know what you're doing before you step up there. But with TV, it's you get on the screen and you see a black dot, and you can see them. The mirror is like a changing focus and stuff. That is very, very intimidating to a lot of people. I don't mind.
Yeah,
it's easy for me. In fact, I'm also looking. If I know the camera crew, just off centre is the cameraman that I'm looking at sometimes, and my job is to make him friggin' laugh.
Yeah.
If I can make him laugh because I'm looking at him or down the barrel, that's what I'm doing, Yeah. But you learn pretty quickly. You've got to be eyes on the camera. Eyes on the camera is I'm including you. I'm looking at you, and I'm in your house looking at you, and you can see the ones that are just starting. They're always looking down. They're always looking around. You've got to be looking at the camera. I look at you because we're having a conversation, and back there, and you've got to keep coming back and doing that thing. How did you learn it? Learned it by doing a lot of it.
Yeah.
Good Chef, Bad Chef. 65 episodes by 13 years. So it's 800 or something episodes, and then everything else as well.
And that's the other thing. You've got to keep up that freshness too, don't you? And and the energy and so on. Like every episode might be the first episode someone watches. So I guess,
that's the performance side.
Yeah.
So to do that, I'm very low key and calm. I have an office in the studio, so I'm very quiet. I keep the office dark, and I don't do a lot. And then we go into the kitchen, into the studio. I set everything up. I work with the producer. It's all there, ready to go through it all. Camera, B-cam will do all the pickups. So you go through all the pickups and show them the order that you're going to do things. And then as soon as the camera goes on, we're going to cook some lovely spaghetti carbonara. I've got some great bacon. I've got some free-range eggs. I've got some cream. Not everyone likes to put cream in the carbonara, and some parmesan. And that's, you sort of lift for that sort of thing, and then you can bring it down again. So if you're able to control your energy level, then you're able to deliver when you need to, without burning all your energy off. So I keep very calm like this, and then when you need to lift for it, you've got the energy.
Is it scripted, or are you?
No. I struggle with scripts, and I struggle with reading things. I would do a lot of commercials in the States. I was flying over to do commercials for Outback Steakhouse, actually. That was a lot of fun. So they didn't even bother. From the start, they knew me. I don't do scripts, so what they would do is have a prompter there. I'd memorise the lines or the paragraph, whatever it is. I'd memorise it and then deliver it. And then over and over and over again. And then as soon as you move on to the next thing, I wouldn't even know what that is. It's gone. But with the sort of thing that I do, you have little tricks of, I have 10 ingredients there that I'm going to put into a pan and cook. I can say something about every single one of those things.
Yeah.
Whether it makes the cut or not, it doesn't matter, but you've got something to say about every single one of those things and move on. And if you've got that, you can keep talking and you can keep the energy up. It works. But I'm quite meticulous with setting up and what I'm doing. And once you've got that set up, then you can have fun. Cook something. I love cooking.
Yeah.
If you came to my house and we were cooking assassin's pasta or something, we'd be having a great time. And Adrian, what's that? Oh, this is this, and we it's almost a performance at home. I would do that normally.
Yeah.
I love that part of it.
Yeah. I was just thinking when you were saying that, I guess it's an age-old performance skill, or I just lost the word that I was going to use. I mean, that's what they used to do. The troubadours riding around the countryside, telling their stories. They had like the little things that they had in place to insert to keep the story going and to remember it, so it would last a whole evening. I guess, I suppose we've always done that. It is a bit storytelling, isn't it? You're telling stories about the food.
Yeah. Well, if you know your topic, you can go on a journey. I mean, I've given our talks on my career and where it's gone and how it started and where I've gone to, and then there might be for the Angus Society breeders of Australia. So I've got the other bit I'll bolt on at the end, which is about the beef cattle. So they'll ask me to do this part and then, talk about what this relates to the beef. So I memorise that 45-minute talk.
Wow.
I write it. I take meticulous notebooks everywhere. I write it, I memorise it, You know, and I'll sometimes actually do a talk with the notebook in my hand. If you go through stuff, you'll see stuff on YouTube. What's that like book he's got in his hand? That's the notebook. That's because I have it all here. So my thing is, all the information's here. You know it, Adrian. Deliver it, and then off you go. So that's how I do it. And if I memorise it, then I go for it. You know, and you can always, if you keep your delivery paced and flowing, if you miss something and you remember later on, you can go back and oh, I forgot to tell you something. You know, when I was a young lad, this is what I would do, and you know, and then you can bring the stories together because it's all here in your head. Wow. And if you have that confidence, you can do it.
Yeah.
We're getting it. I've never answered questions like this before. This is quite interesting.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've done different things, but these are very interesting questions.
Oh, good. That makes me happy.
Yeah.
So, what was I going to just ask you now? You've thrown me now, though. I have to edit this bit out. I was going to say, do you write in your notebook your ideas for food as well? Or is it all in your head now and it just needs? It's got different.
What specifically do you mean?
So if you're coming up with, do you have ideas for new dishes, for example, or things you want to have on the menu? Do you write them down, or?
A couple of ways I do it.
Yeah.
One is I'm very visual, so I go through social media. I see a lot of stuff. I follow a lot of people that I really like what they do. So I'll pick up stuff, snapshot it, screenshot it, and then save it and go back to it later on. You know, stuff I'll see in the computer, Pinterest, those sorts of things. I'll research stuff there. YouTube, if I want to work on techniques and watch people producing something, I'll use that. Not so much books anymore. I used to do. Yeah. I have heaps of books. I used to do a lot of that. I don't so much anymore. I'm quite visual. When I go out to a lot of restaurants at the moment, I've got a few restaurants, you know, around the place, so I eat out a lot. And you know, if I like something, I take a photo. I usually take a photo of everything, and I keep all the menus for just for reference. And then if I like things, I can go back and pull things in and out that I want to do. You know, sometimes there's some great stuff, and sometimes there's some absolute fucking crap. And recently I was in Brisbane, and you know, there's a style of food that's getting around. Everyone's doing it. You know, you can see menus are very similar. And some people are really good at it. And this one I had on Wednesday night was terrible. It was the person I was with was, you know, like a regular, doesn't work in kitchens, and they said this is really average. And that's disappointing, but I got notes in it. I picked up all the things they did wrong. And I picked up the reasons why they did. You know, what an example would be the veal, crumbed veal chop that they had. They left it thick. What you should do is hammer it out so it's quite even and thin, and then fry it. They cooked it in clarified butter, which was great for the first side, but when they turned it over, all the crusty bits of breadcrumb were on the bottom. First thing I do when it hits the table, I turn the thing over.
Yeah.
Having I know this is gonna if there's gonna be a violation, it's the first one I look for. So I saw that, and then it was just, you know, and the chop they had, they used from the top end here, which is up near the chuck. You know, so around the bone was tough and chewy. But these are things that I'll register and write down and take a photo of. And when I came in, I spoke to Alex, who's my head chef here. We talked about it. Oh, you know, we're doing the veal chop for this other thing. I had a really shit one, and this is why it was shit. And yeah. So that's really important. Good stuff is great, but also mistakes are really important as well. And if I see other people's mistakes, I learn from their mistakes. That's really important. So
And can you still be surprised by flavour or by food?
Yeah. I ate in a place last night, Essa in Brisbane. The chef there, Phil, I like his style. It's simple food, just done really well. He's just got some great techniques in the way he cut things and the way he sort of put things together, and just beautifully done. And you'll come across these people every now and again. It's just, you're a beautiful cook. You really get it. You understand the ingredients that you've got, and you deliver them properly. And when you come across people like that, it's like, oh, it's really nice.
And so how do you, because I mean, it's a big thing people talk about these days is well-being. How do you manage well-being I guess, of yourself and maybe of your staff? Is that a thing that you have to think about now?
Well, I think I've always worked 6 days a week. I did. It's just me. Always have. I'm a shocker to be around if I'm not busy. If I'm not doing stuff, I'm shocking. But when we came back from COVID, which was, I think, an incredible time for everyone, but myself, I got a lot out of it. And when we came back, La Luna's was open 6 days, lunch and dinner. Tuesday to Sunday, and Linda and I were sitting down, and I don't want to do that anymore. I can't do it anymore. I'm just not interested. If I'm going to go, how are we going to be able to work together for the next 5 to 10 years? I mean, that's where we come to after COVID. It was like, well, what do we want to do? So we open 5 nights a week, and we open 2 lunches. I have one crew. One crew that runs it. We don't work Sundays anymore. We don't work Mondays. We close for a month over Christmas. We close for 5-6 days over Easter. We close public holidays now.
A month over Christmas?
Yeah, nearly a month. I took a little bit more time off, but yeah, yes.
That's great. It's very French, actually. This enjoyment of life and having holidays and taking, and not working on Sundays and those kinds of things. I think, whatever we might say about the French, and I can say this because I'm a French teacher, obviously I love France and French, but they really do know how to, I mean, it's no mistake, it's joie de vivre, they know how to do life.
Yeah. Yes. It's got the food and the wine and, and we are the best at this. If you want to eat and drink and be merry and do all these things, French.
Yeah.
We'll show you how to do it.
Absolutely.
The Italians are pretty good as well, but
yes,
but the French put the polish on it.
Yeah.
And put the glamour on it.
I lived a long time ago, but I lived in France for a year, and I felt like I always had to sit back and watch how people ate things. There's always a way of, asparagus, you don't cut it up with your knife and fork. They'd get the plate and put the fork underneath it and make like a little vinaigrette in the curve of the plate. Then they'd dip a spear and eat it with their fingers and just bite into it. And I just every time I just would just wait just to see how you're supposed to do things. Love it.
It's beautiful. I mean, basically our cookery is French. So everything we do is in French in the terminology, but I love it. My grandfather, when he was in the Savoy Hotel, he had to learn to speak, read and write in French, so that he could pass himself off as a Frenchman. The only way he could rise up through the ranks in kitchens, because the top level was French and everything else was just the rest of them. So they do hold on to that French, the cuisine and that culture, the food culture, very well.
Yeah,
they're good at it.
Speaking to Ben, the head chef at Pippi's Kiosk in Albert Park, right on the beach, and he spent a year in Paris and and didn't have any French. But luckily, he had people there who could someone who really loved AC/DC, so he could forge connections and things. But then I follow this. There's a New Zealand chef he's gone over to help a mate out doing the menu for a manoir over there, and he doesn't speak any French, and he's finding it really difficult. It's tricky when you can't express yourself with the people that you work with. You can feel a bit one-dimensional, can't you? I mean,
languages in kitchens are very difficult, and it's very common in a lot of kitchens to have people from all over the world, so you need to speak.
That's right.
I'm fluent in broken English, but yes, it would be. And going overseas to another country, it's different.
Have you cooked overseas?
Yeah. I lived in Canada for a year, and worked over there. I lived in London for a year and a bit. Worked over there. I've done work in Hong Kong, Malaysia, Manila, Korea, the States as well. So I've been able to travel to lots of places and work, do things, but they're like glamour gigs, so they fly you in, look after you. They're nice.
That I find it also impressive how chefs go into other people's kitchens and can just do it. How do you, so you're going into an unfamiliar kitchen, but then all of your knowledge just comes into play, and you can just do it wherever you are. That to me feels hard.
Well, there's how we talked about the French sort of that's all the techniques and stuff. So most of us speak that language.
Yeah.
Most of us understand what we're doing when we talk about certain things. So, and there is quite a brotherhood or sisterhood or fellowship whatever you want to call it, with chefs. So if I'm going to New York, I went to New York a while ago, and I was doing a dinner. I ring the chef up, we have a bit of a chat, and it's just like, oh man, this guy's got it. You know, I send him the stuff. Yeah, no worries, I've got you. You know, what about this ingredient here? I can't get this, but will this work for you? Yeah, great. And then, you know, and then you bring it together. And his job is to make sure I'm sweet. He's got it all sorted out. I got you, brother. I got you. You know, and he makes me look good. If he comes back to me, or you know, he needs a favour or whatever, I got him. You know, I've had a couple of instances where I've gone and done jobs, and they're just balls it up. You know, I've shown them, this is what I want to do. Can you do it? Yeah, I can do it. I can do it. And then you get there, it's like, man, why didn't you tell me? I could have done this. So I'm very choosy about the people I work with.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can just, this person knows it. You just know. And sometimes if you feel a slightest amount of doubt, bring all your own food. Bring all your own guys. Yeah, right. Don't take any risks with it. I even now, if I do a function, if I'm doing a function at Marvel Stadium or somewhere else, and it's 200 people, I'll go and count everything. I'll count everything physically. You know, you can count. It's 200 people, 20 portions on a tray. You count. 10 trays of it. Yeah, okay, we're good with it. I'll count all the plates. But just in case, the amount of times it's not their name on it. I usually have to go and give a talk in front of all these people. So if they stuff it up, I'm the one, with egg on my face, so I just take those precautions, and usually you'll pick something up. And then they get the hang of, Adrian's coming in, count everything twice. But I don't trust them. Trust is good, control is better. So, or trust but verify, whatever it is, you just gotta, especially if your name's on the line, you just have to go that extra yard. Walking in there, fabulous, everything's gonna be wonderful. It gets down to the last table of 20 people, we've run out of food, or they forgot it in the cool room. You look like a tool.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's that whole idea of mise en place. I spoke to Scott Pickett once about how mise en place is like a rule for life. It's preparation, isn't it?
Yeah.
And once you've got everything in place, then you can go for it.
Yeah, that's what it is. And you've got to be meticulous with that. You've got to have everything in place. You've got to have it all sorted up. Or if you haven't, make it look like you have. Yeah. And be hard as nails to get it set up. Scotty's great with that. Scotty worked here for a little bit.
Did he?
Yeah, I know Scotty really well. He's an absolute freaking lunatic. Absolute lunatic, but I love him. He's great.
I love him too. He's always just the life and soul of the party. He's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
So speaking of parties, what are you doing here for the 25-year celebrations?
They're having a big party on a Thursday night, I believe. I am shocking at party. We talked about it 6 months ago, 12 months ago, and then we got it all in place. I made it very clear from the I can't organise my own party. It's just I can't do it. I just not in my thing. We've got to do it, and they were like, what should we do? What should we do? And I said, if you want to do it, do it. I'll throw everything you want at it, but don't ask me to organise it or plan it. I write a menu.
Yeah.
I'll tell the guys what food I want. I'll ask some questions because I'll treat it like an event that we do. So I'll make sure certain things are done, but they've looked after it all.
And who's coming?
Lots of people. I think they've got like 150 people coming. We've put something outside. There's I think I'll be. I haven't actually looked at the guest list. There's people I've said. There's a couple of people I've asked to come along. Like my mum. Pro tip: always invite your mum. Yeah. And there's a few other people that are important to me, but they've the guys have looked after everything. I think that's what I want it to be. I don't want something that I've put. I'll struggle with it, and it'll never happen. So, but they'll do a great job of it, and I'll just get up there and give a talk. I'll be fabulous, and then let it all happen. So, I think that's I can organise everyone else's event, but never my own. I never have birthday parties. It's just not my thing. I like to be quiet and just with myself and the boys, and that's it. Yeah.
And just to finish with, because it is Saturday night, I'm sure you've got lots of other things to do. You mentioned before, that chefs should work in a variety of different places and situations. What other advice do you have for young chefs, with all your wisdom and experience?
Look, if you really want to do it well, you need to to work hard, and you need to work some extra hours. I look at it as like university. University, the kids go to university and they put in heaps of hours studying. The more extra hours, and you never get paid for it, the more hours you put in studying, and that might be working in different venues and with different chefs, the more of that you do, the more you build your skill base, the better you're going to be. Move around to different venues, work for a year or 2 years in different venues until you find your feet, build up your skills, build up your ability to do everything. You might not be an expert at it, but one day you will be. Uniform, always pristine. Always have your uniform pristine, stand out, everything ironed, never ever let yourself look sloppy. Knives, you might not be able to afford great knives, but keep them freaking sharp and keep them clean. Always be on time. If there's any issues, speak to people straight away. If there's something going on, go to your chef. If you don't get resolution from your chef, go to the manager, but deal with things straight away. Always conduct yourself like it's your business, and be extremely professional. Those people stand out. I have regular people that just that's what they do, but every now and again I'll get one or two of these people through, guys or girls, and I see you're going to be really good. You work for me for 2 years, and come here, what are you going to do? I want to go work in a hotel. Which hotel do you want to work for? I thought the Hyatt was really good. I'll ring up my mate at the Hyatt and you'll go there. That's what we'll look after someone like that, because they're going to stand out. That's really, really important to me. It's my trade. It's been my uncles were chefs. My grandfather, his father was a baker as well. So it goes down 4 generations in my family. So I take it very, very seriously. I take all of my apprentices' schoolwork seriously. I'll harass them if they miss a class. Yeah. I'll harass them if they're not getting good marks. If you work for me, that's what I expect. So I think for the young ones getting into it, if you're going to do it, be the best. Be the best and do your best at all times, and you'll come out of it doing well. If you're half-assed, well, you'll be like the rest of the grunts and you'll end up doing something else. But very few people come through from an apprenticeship, come through and continue on into their 40s or 50s or 60s. People get out of the industry a lot, but if you're really good at it, you'll always do well, you'll make good money, and you'll really enjoy it.
Perfect. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Conversation with a Chef with Adrian Richardson at La Luna Bistro. You can check out all the goodness on Instagram at La Luna Bistro, that's LALUNABISTRO, and Adrian's own account at chef_Adrian_Richardson. If you liked what you heard and you want to hear more stories from other chefs, I'm on Instagram at Conversation with a Chef. You can read the chat and become a subscriber at www.conversationwithachef.com. When you become a subscriber, it really works for me because I feel, read and you get to know when new chats come up. I would also absolutely love it if you told a friend about my chats, and of course you can follow me on Apple and Spotify podcasts. Once again, thanks for listening and have an amazing day. Bon appétit!